Hello? Hello? Hello. If you don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I make videos for NBA, I make videos for NFL. All of these videos get posted on this subreddit. It is called DF Sports. With one S, you can find my posts here. My username is Shook. That's my NFL post. Let's go down to my NBA post. People talk strategy here. Really great place to be. I answer all of your questions. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. And if you ever need to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me through Reddit Messenger. Or you can get a hold of me on Twitter at ToryLangley1992. So let's take a look at my lineups from today. And it was a really good day overall. Cashed in everything that I played today. So, yeah, I'm not too sure what else to say. It was just a really, really good day. About 500, I don't know, $300 profit on the day. So we'll go over my NFL lineups first. So I'm gonna take a sip of OJ though, real quick. Give me one sec. Okay. So I obviously play cash games for NFL. You guys know that I'm a cash game grinder. I have turned everyone in the Discord to the dark side, to the cash game streets. So I went with Daniel Jones, Joe Mixon, Saquon Barkley, Justin Jefferson, Isaiah Hodgins, Stephon Diggs, Hayden Hurst, Richie James, and the Dolphins defense. So the core that I had for cash today was Daniel Jones. He was a core play for me for cash. I actually forget who I had as a core play. So this is my core today. Daniel Jones, absolute smash. Saquon Barkley, absolute smash. Joe Mixon, he was meh. Isaiah Hodgins, absolute smash. Richie James was just fine. And then you can see what I rounded out my lineup with. So good night in the main slate. Let's go over to the Showdown slate. So the core that I had for Showdown was Joe Burrow, absolute smash. Jamar Chase, absolute smash. And Evan McPherson was just fine. Not super good, but not fine. But ended up squeaking out the cash there. So it was a really, really good night for me. I hope you guys had a good night as well. Let's take a look at my NBA lineup. So there's a really important strategy that I want you guys to know. So if you guys are interested in my Discord below, I'll have a link to that where I have in-depth content going over the slate, player pools for cash and GPPs, cores for cash and GPPs, stuff like that. Definitely, if that's something you're interested in, I will have a link to that below. So let me go over the strategy for today. So we had James Harden questionable, we had Tobias Harris questionable, we had Luka Doncic questionable, and we had Christian Wood questionable. This is what I told everyone in the Discord. I said, if you want to go the safe route, load up on the Nets value. If you want to go risky, we're going to go for late swap. So this is what we did. If you don't want to hear this, you can just scroll forward. So this is what we did. I went with Kyrie Irving as a core play, Spencer Dinwiddie as a core play, TJ Warren as a core play, and Shake Milton as a core play. The reason I had Shake Milton as a core play was because I didn't expect James Harden to play. I also did not expect Tobias Harris to play. So he would have been an absolute smash value at low ownership. And I thought at least one of Luka or Harden wasn't going to play. So I knew there would be an easy pivot off Shake Milton if those guys were in, and that was Jaden Hardy. So Jaden Hardy became a core play over Shake Milton. So the core that I had today, Kyrie unfortunately was a bust. Dinwiddie smashed in a blowout. Warren unfortunately was a bust, but Jaden Hardy was an absolute smash. So 2 out of 2 on the core, but the late pivots are what saved us. I told everyone, go to Westbrook, go to Christian Wood. He looks phenomenal. Dinwiddie was already a core play. So the late swaps and that strategy, waiting for late news, absolutely saved us. More big days in the Discord. Just all green all around because of those late swaps. And Jaden Hardy, just an absolute crazy day. He brought us back from the dead. Phenomenal day overall. Hope you guys had a good day. And just remember, the slate starts at 3 o'clock tomorrow. It does not start at normal time. We have a 5-gamer here, so let's do it. So, tough matchup here for the Pelicans. So, CJ McCollum, 9.6K, going to lead the way offensively. I don't really like the matchup, but that doesn't mean he is out of play. He's going to go extremely low owned because of the matchup. I think people just see people playing against Cleveland and they don't really want to click on their name. So I think CJ is an interesting GPP play tomorrow. Nobody's going to want to play him. We have Zion Ingram still out. We do have Larry Nance back. Jonas Valanciunas still played 30 minutes. Even with Larry Nance back, he absolutely smashed. I wonder if they're going to need him out there more, going up against Mobley and Jarrett Allen. That could be interesting. But as you guys know, minutes all over the place with Larry Nance back, so hard to trust him. But does have this type of ceiling when he gets the playing time. So I think he's just a tournament only play for me. Najee Marshall, just super safe play. He'll probably get you anywhere from like 25 to 35 fantasy points, which at 5.7K isn't half bad. He'll play huge minutes. Guy that can do it all. Can stuff the stat sheet. So I think he's just super safe. Trey Murphy, listen, here's the thing. He's finally had 2 good games back to back. I'm worried the ownership's going to go up here, and he's just going to go back to being terrible. So it's going to be an ownership thing for me. Like, if he's going to get ownership, I'll gladly look elsewhere. But the thing is, the minutes are up of late. He's been playing better of late. He's been more aggressive of late. But when his shot isn't falling, he definitely has this type of floor. So, going to be an ownership thing for me. I think he's an okay value play. But if he's going to be popular, I think that's definitely a fade in my opinion. Only if Herb Jones is out, I would consider Trey Murphy too. Because with Herb Jones out, he's going to have to play huge minutes. So if Herb's out, like Trey Murphy, Jose Alvarado will play 25-ish minutes off the bench. He'll close games. Very good defender. Can get those defensive stats. Can also stuff the stat sheet. Guys that we like playing. Shot 3 of 14. Still went for 23 fantasy points. So I think Alvarado's solid. Larry Nance, I think, is playable at 3.9K. Probably plays close to 20 minutes. Good point per minute guy. I don't hate it. So, yeah. And then if Herb Jones is out, you're probably going to get Dyson Daniels moving into the starting lineup. He'll play decent minutes of playable value. Let's move on to Cleveland. So, Mitchell, just there for me. Like, if I had to rank him to the other spend ups, I'd much rather play Curry, much rather play Randall, much rather play CJ probably, much rather play possibly Kyle Kuzma, possibly Porzingis, Anthony Edwards, Brunson. So he ranks pretty low to me, spend up wise. He also has a tough matchup, so not in love with Mitchell today. I think Garland's just much easier to get to at 7.5K. Once again, I think he's too cheap, so like Garland for GPPs. I like the bigs here too. I think they're both too cheap. Evan Mobley, 6.3K, and Jarrett Allen, sub 6K. I don't think we've seen this all season long. So, like Jarrett Allen, I think that price tag's just way too cheap. So, really like Jarrett Allen. Levert, no thank you. Love, no thank you. I think Okoro had a big game last game. Nah, he didn't. But can't do it. And I think that's it for Cleveland. So really like Jarrett Allen. So Toronto at the Knicks. This is a slow-paced game. 2 good defenses that going up against each other. But the big news here is Fred VanVleet is questionable. We'll see what they do with the starting lineup. This is what I will say. If Fred VanVleet's in, it's the same thing as always. Like Siakam, Fred, Barnes, OG, Trent, they're all in play for GPPs for me. I don't have a standout. I don't know which one's going to play well. So I don't have a favorite. Siakam obviously is the highest floor and highest ceiling between them all, but he's also the most expensive. Fred VanVleet definitely has an extremely high ceiling, but a low floor of late. Barnes, OG, they cause me incredible amounts of pain, but they're playable. Gary Trent's been playing big minutes. I don't know why he played big minutes here. A little bit concerning, but yeah, they're all just tournament only plays for me if Fred's in. If Fred's out, we're going to have to monitor the starting lineup, but Gary Trent definitely gets the biggest bump with no Fred VanVleet. Would like him at 5.5K if Fred VanVleet's out, and then we'll have to monitor the starting lineup. They can do a number of things. They could start big. They can go with Hernan Gomez. They can go, I I don't know who else they go. I don't know if Malachi Flynn would start. We'll just have to wait and see. I feel like they'll move Scotty to the point. But yeah, the starting lineup's just going to be a wait and see approach. But more guys that'll benefit from Fred out. You'll probably see them do bigger lineups with like Precious Achua. Probably plays a little bit more, but it's a wait and see approach. We'll see on the lineup. So tough spot here for the Knicks, but I still like them. They're running their starters into the ground. Their usage rates, Brunson, Randall, just absolutely insane right now. So I still like Randall at the top at 10.3K. I still like Brunson at 8.5K. Just the minutes, the usage, it's too insane right now. I think they're very, very safe plays. I like both quite a bit. RJ Barrett at 6.9K only played 27 minutes last game. Not sure what that was about, but I'd much rather go to the top two guys there. Quickly overpriced with RJ Barrett back. Mitchell Robinson, as you guys know, always has a ceiling if he can stay out of foul trouble, but the guy is always in foul trouble and causes everyone incredible amounts of pain. So always a good GPP play in my opinion. And then I'm not going to get to anyone else. Move on to the Warriors. So you would have thought with the record-breaking game in San Antonio that they would have played their starters a little bit more, right? Even though it was a blowout. It was literally a record-breaking night. But you guys know the drill. I like Steph Curry for GPPs. Good matchup here. Always has an insane ceiling, but a pretty low floor. Always like Steph for GPPs. Klay Thompson, I don't know if is going to be playing tomorrow. If he's in, there's not much else that stands out. If he's out, still not much else that stands out to me. I think it's just Steph for me at the top, honestly. Not much else. Maybe Draymond Green's fine at a 6.2K. Kevon Looney, I think it's just super safe, but not going to go out of my way to play him. So, yeah, not much on the Warriors for me. We have to. Bradley Beal is questionable on the Washington side of things. It's a good spot though. If Beal's in, not much here. I play Kyle Kuzma here with no Beal. Beal's back, goes for 100 fantasy points, but if Beal's in, there's just not much. They're all just tournament dart throws, like Porzingis, Kuzma, Beal, just all tournament dart throws for me. Gafford, no thanks. Monte Morris, no thanks. Denny, no thanks. Rui, no thanks. Delon Wright, no thanks. So just the top three guys for me if Beal's in. If Beal's out, though, then I'm ready to lose money with Kuzma. But now that the pricing is he's only $300 cheaper than Porzingis, I'd much rather go to Porzingis. And I think the individual matchup is much better for Porzingis in this spot. So I do prefer Porzingis to Kuzma if Beal is out. But I think both are good plays. Gafford will start, probably plays mid-20s minutes. Okay play, but I prefer Walker Kessler for the same price. Morris would be in play, but super safe. Doesn't really have a ceiling. Okay option. And then Denny, Rui, they're just there for me. And then with Monte Morris back, kind of really hard for me to go to guys like Delon Wright and Jordan Goodwin. Monitor that Bradley Beal news. Let's move over to Miami. So we do have Tyler Hero back. We still have Kyle Lowry out. I assume Tyler Hero will start at the point. Gabe Vincent probably goes back to the bench. So not much for me. Butler, been quiet of late. Does have a ceiling if he's hitting doing everything. Wants to be aggressive. That's the key thing. Will you get the aggressive Jimmy Butler game in the regular season? Who knows? So nothing more in the tournament only. But I think Bam's my favorite play. He's just been on another level of late. Been extremely aggressive. Been very good at rebounding the ball, especially if Clint Capella's out. I don't know who's going to stop him. So I think Bam's intriguing. Harrow, I think, is priced appropriately. I think Victor Oladipo is overpriced now with Harrow back. Max Strus is overpriced with Harrow back. If they start Gabe Vincent, you can consider him at 5.2K, but he's not going to play 40 minutes again. So if they start him, he's playable. Then if Caleb Martin's out, they'll probably start Haywood Highsmith, but very, very low usage guy. I don't think we need to go there, but he would be playable if he starts. So, yeah, I think that's it for Miami. Let's move on to Atlanta. We have Trae Young, probable, so I don't have to lose more money on DeJounte Murray. We have Clint Capella, questionable, so not much in a tough spot. Miami plays very good defense. They play slow, so this is not the spot that I want to attack with Trae or Murray. Same with the bigs, so more of a pass for me on the Atlanta side. I think Hunter is okay as a value play. He'll play huge minutes. Guy that can, good rebounder, decent scorer, feels like a pretty safe value to me, but no standouts here on the Atlanta side. And this is my favorite game to target by far. So we have Lauri Markkanen questionable. If he's in, Markkanen's fine, Clarkson's fine, Conley's fine, Vanderbilt's fine. I think Kessler is a pretty good value. I don't care if Gobert plays or not. I believe he's questionable. Good point per minute guy as long as he stays out of foul trouble. He'll probably crush. So do like Walker Kessler a lot tomorrow. And then you can't get to the value if Markkanen's back. But if Markkanen's out, then there's just a lot to like here. I think Jordan Clarkson would move up to one of the best plays on the slate. Would just have to do a ton of work offensively. We'll get a boost with the rebounds. They won't have anyone to rebound the ball, even though Clarkson's like not the I don't think he's the best rebounder, but I think he's fine, like not terrible. But Clarkson would look great. Mike Conley would be in play at 5.4K. He would have to do more offensively. He'll have the ball in his hands a decent amount. He would be solid. Vanderbilt would be okay. I don't really necessarily think he gets a huge usage bump, but he'll have to play more minutes. But he's always in foul trouble. Still would really like Walker Kessler. And then the values. So Malik Beasley started, played 32 minutes. Didn't shoot the ball well. That's what you get from Malik Beasley though when he's not hitting shots. But I'd be fine to go right back there with that shooting forward eligibility. Would think he would look good. And then the value, like NAW played 29 minutes last game. You had Taylor Horn Tucker play huge minutes. I would be very intrigued by THT and NAW for GPPs if Lauri Markkanen is out. Let me just make sure I'm not missing any news on why they played that much. I don't think I am. So, yeah, would be intrigued by those guys if Markkanen's out. So, a lot to like with Utah if Markkanen's out. And then I like some things here on Minnesota. So, we have Anthony Edwards questionable. I fully expect him to play. We have Rudy Gobert questionable. I don't expect him to play. He left that game early. So, I don't know why Ant's price went down. He should be a 9K player. Still no Cat. So, I think Ant looks like a pretty good play to me. Rudy Gobert, if he plays, I do like. Phenomenal matchup. D'Lo got benched last game. I don't think he'll get benched again, so I expect his minutes to go back up. Very, very safe. Think that's solid. Anderson, no thank you. Nas, if Gobert said no thank you. And I don't think there's much else that really stands out to me. Jalen Noel, game minutes last game because D'Lo got benched. So, yeah, but if Gobert's out, then Ant looks amazing. D'Lo looks good. Kyle Anderson would be playable. Nas Reed would be the best play on the slate. It wouldn't be close. McDaniels would be viable at 4.6K. And yeah, I think that's it. If Torian Prince plays, he would be in play. Probably plays low 20s minutes. So yeah, lot to like in this last game. Hope you guys had a good night tonight, and I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.